I would be lying if I said that making this video was easy. This assignment was especially hard for me to do because I wasn't really sure how to represent accurately all of the mind-boggling and abstract concepts that I've learned over the last 4 months into a visual 3-minute video. But something I did learn, and probably one of the most important lessons over the semester for me, was that creativity enhances academics instead of hinders it. Which is why I've chosen to burst out the box of crayons I haven't used in years and try to illustrate what I've learned on this construction paper with my crayons. Let's call it kindergarten playtime for the 4th year undergrad. So the first thing I learned was that the matrix equals capitalism. Going into this class, this semester was kind of like Neo getting pulled out of the matrix. It's shocking, you can see things for what they really are, and there's a little bit of slime involved. Capitalism is something I was always aware of, but never fully understood the ideology behind, or realized that there was really any other option apart from a capitalist system. I never realized how truly damaging and exploitative this societal structure actually is, and how the burden of failure somehow always falls to the working class, and not the untouchable elite. I've learned that the only way for capitalism to work is if the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. Not only do we have to stay poor, but we have to stay unsatisfied. Under capitalism, we are told to always need the new gadget, the newest pair of shoes, new everything. And a satisfied individual cannot exist because it would lay waste to the whole consumer culture that capitalism preaches. If capitalism is the matrix, then the destruction it's causing to our planet is unfortunately the real world that Neo wakes up in. The second thing I learned was don't take anything at face value. In this class, I realized the danger of accepting media at face value, without really thinking about what their messages mean. As an example, I used to not think twice about the media preaching for us to stop using plastic straws. I mean, it made sense, right? But now, I realize that there are 100 companies on Earth that are responsible for 71% of global emissions. A negligible amount of waste is coming from my plastic straws in comparison to that. And yet somehow, the normal people of the world have the burden of the entire climate crisis thrust upon our shoulders. And we change our habits while these 100 companies continue polluting like there's no tomorrow. Because of this class, I've taken a more critical eye to media messages and trying to look beneath the surface to uncover the hidden agenda and ever-present capitalist propaganda. The third thing I learned was follow the breadcrumbs. This point somewhat ties back to not taking anything at face value because I learned that big companies and organizations can say one thing and then completely do the opposite because of what the hidden nature of the chain of production is. Our recycling program is a great example of this. Every Monday, the big green or blue-colored recycling truck goes neighborhood to neighborhood, picking up recycling, and we all go pat ourselves on the back for a job well done. And yet, most of what we recycle goes into the trash anyway, gets incinerated or worse, shipped off to an unsuspecting developing country to be dumped or burned there. I learned the importance of knowing firstly where our products are coming from, our iPhones, computers, and clothing, literally everything, but also the need to be aware of what happens to our items when we throw them away. Do our clothes really get donated or just sent to a poorer nation where they undermine the local economy? It's things like this that have made me realize how embedded consumer culture is in our lives and how I'm trying to change my habits to use goods in a more sustainable way. The fourth thing I learned is that all hope is not lost. While my actions alone may not and most definitely will not solve the global climate crisis, world hunger, or tear down the capitalist system, this does not mean that all hope is lost. My actions still matter, I still matter, and we need to bring a sense of community back into the world in order to change things for the better. Just because it may seem that small actions have no impact doesn't mean that they can't cause a chain reaction that has the ability to eventually move mountains. It's easy to get lost in all the negativity of the 24-hour news cycle and the constant bombardment of soothsayer-like the end is near proclamations. So, the last and probably most impactful thing I've learned this semester has been that it's okay to be upset and angry about the state of the world, but that doesn't mean it's okay to lose hope. Thank you so much for a great semester, and I'm signing off.